robust urban garlic flavor. 61 Second Man to me $1.50. I remember seeing this years ago on YouTube. The rumor Lars has appeared. He went crazy from eating a chicken from Burger King. Oh, that's what it was. Good thing I didn't eat mine. That sauce seeps right into your brain. It turns you into a weird mutated creature. All right.
Alright, first of all, happy birthday to Catherine Burnell. I hope Phil takes you to the diner that you like if it's still open. Today we're going to take a trip down memory lane, interrupting our regularly scheduled programming because this is a huge part of DSP's lore that often goes neglected because it shows just how much of a Karen DSP really is. So a grand total of 4 years ago, DSP and his wife went out for a shopping trip on Kat's birthday, and it did not go as planned, and here is Phil to tell you more about it. Mind you, this is before he did the full camera for the Level 1 podcast, stuff like that, so it's going to be all images and such that I have to put in.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk a little bit about yesterday. I know you guys always ask me about what I do on my day off, and you want to hear stories, so I'm going to tell you a story. And this is going to be a little bit on the longer side, all right? So I hope that you guys are ready for a story. You ready for story time, or should I just skip it? You don't care about yesterday. You don't want to be entertained, right? You guys aren't here for entertainment. You just, serious business. So you don't want to hear the story about yesterday. All right, forget it. I'm not going to tell the story. No one wants to hear it. Everyone's telling me in the stream chat, just skip it. No one cares about you, your personal life, or anything like that. You're a boring person. Everyone hates you anyway. Who would want to hear about that, right? All right, forget it. All right, we'll skip it. Cool. We'll completely skip it, and we won't talk about it. Everyone in chat's going nuts, of course. No, we want. What? Tell the story.
And guess what? That was the most interesting part of Phil's stream. Probably the month or like in the next 3 months, because this is a real doozy of an experience right here.
All right, so here's the deal. Yesterday was a day Kat and I specifically planned this day out to be a day that we would be able to spend the entire day together. We didn't have any appointments. We didn't have anything to interrupt what we wanted to do.
We didn't have to spend 4 hours shopping for groceries.
We even had reservations at a restaurant for dinner, specifically one that Kat had picked out. So everything was planned and well, and we were like, we're going to have a great day out. Okay? We were hoping anyway. Do you know the saying? What is the Murphy's Law saying? If anything can go wrong, it will screw you up the butt. I think that was Murphy's Law. I think that's how he worded it. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. I hope you guys are ready for this.
Alrighty, Philip, enlighten us about this.
So first of all, in the morning, we're getting ready. And in reality, my wife, wanted to get ready, wanted to, put on her makeup and everything. And I said, well, I'll just run out. I'll go to the grocery store quick, a very quick trip, and just grab a few odds and ends that we're running low on. We didn't even really need anything. There was only one meal we had to buy supplies for to make. Everything else we still had.
Usually people say food or ingredients when they have to get food from the grocery store, but he says supplies.
From the previous week. But a few things we had run out. So I said, okay, I'll run quick. I went to the grocery store, no problem. Grabbed a few things. She's getting ready. All right. But the thing is that my wife and I don't really get a lot of time to sit down and plan stuff out. And when we do, we try to put effort into it. But a lot of times we forget stuff.
Well, I think the problem here, Phil, is you ramble on so much that it's just hard to get a plan in place because it takes hours to do so.
So yesterday, guys, was a day that we took off, but you may have noticed something. It was not a normal day off. Normally, my days off are during the week, right? It'll be like a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, something like that. And my wife and I didn't really think about that. We just thought, oh, it's just a day off. We didn't think in our heads it's a Sunday, all right? Big mistake, because on Sunday, it's the weekend. And on the weekend, there's way more people out than on weekdays, which is normally when we have our day out.
Wow, Phil, it only took you, 40 years to figure this out?
So not only is there increased traffic, but this means that there also would be way more people going to the places that we want to go. There is a place that we've been going to eat recently on our days off for like breakfast.
It's either probably closed now or they're just too busy because DSP is always ordering DoorDash, it seems like, for breakfast.
And it's a really nice place because it's a throwback place to, like, I've been telling my wife, it really reminds me of the diners I used to go to when I was a kid. I used to go to a place called Friendly's with my mom when I was a kid.
Yeah, of course, the first thing he refers to Friendly's as is a diner instead of ice cream.
My mom and I would have days out where she would just go out and she had to do a lot of shopping or whatever. Sometimes we go to the mall together, go to the movies together. And then we would actually go out and get lunch, and it would be at Friendly's. Friendly's is like an American-style diner where you can get all kinds of food. You know, sandwiches, burgers, grilled cheese, chicken, all kinds of stuff. And I liked it because it was sit down in old-style booths, and you could get shakes. They had amazing milkshakes and stuff. So I used to grow up going there. So there are places out here. There's one place in particular we've been going to recently for like the past month and a half, 2 months, on and off. We go there, and it reminds me of old school Americana dining, like old diners, all right? We love this place. We love it. The value for the food is great. The food is outstanding, at least per American standards. It's not gourmet food, but it's basically, if you like American diner food, you're going to like this place. So anyway, we've been going there, and we said, well, we want to go there to celebrate my wife's birthday. She loves it so much.
Does anybody else find it a little odd that although DSP says that his wife loves the diner, why is it only him talking about his experiences? That just kind of confuses me, because if she loves it, you'd think he'd have more to say than just she loves it. That's just my take, though.
But we're so absent-minded, we're not thinking, oh, it's Sunday. We drive there, the entire place is full. And there's people waiting outside to get in. And we're like, you've got to be kidding me. Now, here's the thing. If we didn't have plans for what we wanted to do for the rest of the day, we probably would have waited. But we actually had plans. The place where my wife wanted to have dinner actually was a pretty far drive away. And there was a big shopping area there. And our plan was we were going to drive there. It takes a while to get there. But we were going to spend the whole day there going around doing a little bit of shopping and then having this nice dinner together. But we didn't want to get stuck, you know, spending all this time waiting to get in to eat this place.
My guess is the restaurant that was far away was probably 30 minutes to an hour from their house. I can't imagine it being any longer. And no, I don't think the restaurant was in Seattle.
We said, we're not going to do it. Now, on a whim, we very foolishly did something we should not have done. We said, what is near us right now that we can just grab any food to put something in our bellies, and then we can drive out to this area where we want to spend the rest of the day shopping and everything. So we look, and guess what's the closest thing to this diner? Burger King. Oh, good. Well, we said we'll just drive to Burger King and grab something quickly, and then we'll be off on our day after that. We'll get on the road and we'll drive out to this place. Burger King. So we drive 1 block to Burger King. As we're at this Burger King, we firmly realize this is not the kind of Burger King that normally we would want to go to. I'm not kidding you. As we're waiting in the drive-thru, there are essentially drug users in an alleyway next to Burger King doing drugs, like plainly in view of us. We're staring at them like, that guy's shooting up. Yeah, right in front of people at Burger King. People are shooting up. Like, oh, this might be a problem. Well, we better just get our food and get out of here. So we order. Now, what did we order? My wife wanted to get a original chicken sandwich combo. She likes the original chicken sandwich at Burger King. So she ordered that as a combo. I ordered something that I hadn't tried yet. The Chiking chicken sandwich. They have a new chicken sandwich at Burger King. And they have 2 varieties. They have a regular, which is like lettuce, tomato, onion, and mayo. And then they have one that's the spicy version, which is supposed to have spicy sauce and some other kind of sauce on it or something. We order, and we drive to a safe area. We get the there. Seriously, we get out of there. And we're like, let's eat somewhere safe quick. Because the thing is, Burger King doesn't have the doors open. Now, we don't know if they don't have the doors open because of COVID or because there's druggies in the alleyway next to them shooting up. Maybe the druggies keep going into their store to shoot up. Because that could be. It could be, oh, we want to do somewhere safe, so we go in their bathroom and start shooting up drugs. Who knows, right?
If that was the case, you wouldn't be able to enter the bathroom without a key from somebody working there.
This obviously is not a good part of town. We drive to somewhere safe, or at least we think it's safe.
Phil, anywhere you go that is not inside your gated community, I'm highly doubtful you think that it's fully safe. There's always detractors lurking out there, according to you.
And we open our food and we're going to eat. So my wife starts eating. Her food seems good. She's like a little dry, but what are you going to do? It's Burger King, right?
If you ever see this guy do a DSP tries it, he's always harping on whether the meat is dry or not.
I open up my bag. I eat a fry. Burger King fries are kind of... Never really liked Burger King fries. The early 2000s, their fries were good. They used to have potato skins on the fry. Then they tasted good. But I've never been impressed with Burger King fries in the last like 10, 15 years. They suck.
Out of Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King, I think Burger King has the worst fries out of the three.
So finally, I go to grab my sandwich. I'm like, what the hell? I pull my hand out of the bag. My hand is completely covered in sauce. So what they did, they completely soaked the sandwich in sauce. What they do with this chicken sandwich is they wrap it in wax paper and then they put it inside of like a foil bag. So I opened the foil bag and I just put my hand in to grab the sandwich and I was like, what the f-? Now I'm in a car. I'm not at home. I don't have a ton of napkins with me. I don't have a faucet to wash my hand, right? This is me in a car. After this meal, we're about to drive a ways to go spend a day out. Nice for my wife's birthday. And I'm like, what the f is this? So I pull it out. I'm not kidding you. The entire wax paper was wet. There wasn't like, it wasn't dry at all. I'm trying to unwrap the sandwich and I'm getting increasingly covered in sauce. It was the most sloppy, nasty thing I've seen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, normally I would just tell the story. This was so bad, I took a picture. Because I immediately said, I am going to complain about this. I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is the most revolting thing I've ever seen.
Once DSP decided in that car that he was going to complain about it, he got really happy.
So, I have a picture for you. That was the sandwich that they gave me. What you're seeing right now is what they gave me at Burger King. Yummy! It looks like it came out of someone's... It looks like someone who had a giant festering zit popped that right onto the sandwich. That is what they gave me. Seriously. Oh my God. I mean, do I even have to describe it any... Like, do I even have to say another word about it? So, I couldn't eat it. I mean, I'm not even kidding you. That bun is covered in sauce. Like, everything I touched, I got sauce on me. I just couldn't. How was I supposed to eat that? That is the most revolting thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it might tasted good. I don't know. Look at that. That's vomit-inducing. Like, I got sick to my stomach looking at it. I threw it out. I couldn't eat it. I took a picture. I threw it out, and I immediately went to Burger King's website and filed a complaint. I said, are you out of your mind? You expect me to eat that? Like, it's not even edible. Look at that. It's... Everywhere it's cut. No, see, someone just said you hold it in the wrapper. Look at the wrapper. The wrapper is soaked in sauce. There was no dry part of the wrapper to hold on to eat it. That wrapper is wet and dripping and saturated in sauce. There's no way to eat that without getting covered in it.
Phil never got that because it's all wet is because they heat it up before they give it to you. So the sauce is going to have a more liquid composition. It's going to be slipping and slopping all over the place. And then looking at that wrapper, it just looks like there's one wet spot. And it's like, did they give you napkins, Philip? Did you ask for napkins? Because then you could wrap a napkin around the burger. It happens from time to time, Philip. You may think this is like a rare occasion, but no, food getting hot and going through the wax paper, that happens all the time.
And by the way, I don't know what that yellow is on it, but oh my God, like, it doesn't look like mayo. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but that is nasty. Like I said, that looks like a zit. That someone was festering zit and they went and it squirted all over the sandwich. That is nasty. Why would I want to eat that? All I had for my meal yesterday was fries. I'm serious. I threw out the sandwich. I couldn't eat that. So all I did was eat the sandwich. That was it. And we drove away. We had to go on. You know, we had plans for the day. And I did complain. And I have written back and forth with Burger King twice in the last 24 hours. Basically, they apologized. I sent them the picture, and then they really apologized and said that they're going to basically get this restaurant in contact with me. Essentially, what's going to happen is probably the manager of the store will apologize and be like, oh, here's a few free credits to come and get free food. Do you really think I want to go back to that Burger King? Really? Do you really think I want to go there? Where number one, I have to see people shooting up while I'm buying food. And then I have to try to eat that? Like, are you out of your mind? So even if they give me free stuff, I probably aren't even going to go there. I hope if they do give me anything free, I hope they give it to go to another Burger King that's a better one. Because that place is... Seriously. So then we leave, and we're off on our day, okay? The good news is we did have a lot of fun. We ended up going to a few stores and things that normally we wouldn't go to because they're not in our local area. It was further out drive and everything. We had a nice day. The weather was hot. It wasn't supposed to be. The weather claimed that the high for the day was going to be in the low 70s. It was in the 80s. Full sun, 80s, sweating our balls off out here because the car was so hot. Because it was hot as shit. It was just like, oh, come on. It figures that our day out we planned for Kat's birthday ends up being insanely hot and we're sweating. But you know you could do about that. You know, whatever, make the best of it. The good news is, we had fun. We went to it, like I said, we went to a few different stores or whatever. We went to a few areas normally we wouldn't have gone to. We actually got a new kind of treat for Jasper. That's, it's supposed to be like a puree of both tuna and shrimp. And he loves seafood. Like, whenever we eat food, if we order seafood, oh my God, he goes crazy. He'll jump on the kitchen table, he'll sniff it. Oh, seafood. And he'll try to get some because he's a cat. He wants to eat the seafood. He doesn't do that for anything else, only seafood. He loves seafood. So we ended up getting him this nice, this nice new treat and everything. So then finally, we're coming at kind of a close to the end of our day. Now I'm starving. The only thing I've eaten all day long was a small fries from Burger King.
And I'll use utensils, okay? But they're in the kitchen, so no harm, no foul, you know what I mean?
I didn't eat anything else all day. At least Kat had a chicken sandwich. I was starving. I'm like, okay, good. It's finally time for dinner, okay? So, where did we go for dinner? We had a reservation at a Japanese-style restaurant.
Yes, Japanese style. You can't just say Japanese. I'm sure we're trying to get Kat her fix for going to Japan by substituting it with Japanese food.
It was supposed to be 3 different kinds of cuisine. They had a hibachi grill, so if you wanted to get hibachi stuff, they would cook it for you fresh. It was also known as a steakhouse, so they make Japanese-style steaks, and also a sushi restaurant. So it says right on the front, hibachi, seafood, no, it said steak, seafood, sushi. It says right on the front on their sign. That's how they advertise themselves. Kat had actually, ahead of time, made this reservation and looked it up and saw the menu, and she had picked out kinds of sushi that she wanted to try. She was like, man, it looks like they have some really unique, good sushi here. I can't wait to try this new sushi they're going to have. And also their drinks menu looked pretty good. I couldn't drink because I had to drive home, but she was going to have a drink or two while we were there. We're waiting finally to our reservation. We get up to the door. As we walk to the front door, there's a giant sign on the front door. Oh, sorry. No sushi today. What? We couldn't believe it. We had made the reservation and went there specifically to get sushi for Kat's birthday. No sushi today. We opened the doors and what's going on? Oh, well, our sushi chef gets 2 days off a week, Sundays and Mondays. So he's off today. I'm like, you didn't say that online. Nowhere on your website does it say that you don't have sushi on Sunday or Monday. We made this reservation over 2 weeks ago to come here for sushi. Oh, we're sorry about that. Well, do you still want your reservation? No! Off! So we left. And Kat was very upset. And I don't blame her. We had done all this stuff planning this special day out for her. The first meal is ruined. And now the second meal is ruined. So what did we do? We thought about what we wanted to do.
Then Catherine and Philip went back to the original Burger King and had a chicken sandwich. It was coated in much sauce and DSP enjoyed it thoroughly.
And she basically really wanted sushi. I said, well, at this point, now here we are, way far away from home. I said, the only thing I could think of, we could do one of two things. We could try to find another sushi restaurant in the area, if there's any that are even good. Or we could go to a sushi restaurant we know we like, or we can go home and order. So first of all, we tried to search the area for a sushi restaurant. The only one in the area is this place called Trappers. But Trappers is more fast foody, meaning there really is no sit-down dining. All there's a bar you sit at. And they have this one of those rotating conveyor belts, so you can just grab sushi off. It's not like made for order or anything. And I was like, that's more like, you want to go there for lunch or grab something quick. That's not like you're going to sit down and have a birthday dinner at Trapper Sushi. You know what I'm saying? So then we're like, okay, why don't we go to the sushi restaurant that's near our house that we normally would go to anyway, but we wanted to do something special for her birthday. I guess forget it, we'll just go there. We look it up, closed on Sundays. So we don't even have the option to go to our usual place for sushi because it's closed on the day that we have off for her birthday. Finally, it's like we're at our wits' end. And we're like, what are we going to do? Well, you know, we could sit here, we could moan, we could stamp our feet, we could be upset.
Don't worry, everybody. He saves all that complaining for us on the podcast.
You know, we could be a bunch of Karens. Or we could try to make take the lemons, make the lemonade out of the lemons. So I said, we're going to go home really quick. And I drove us home as fast as I possibly could. I broke the speed limit a couple times. I actually broke the sound barrier a couple of times, I'm sure. Actually, I'm kidding. I didn't break the speed limit. I'm actually, contrary to popular belief about how I drive in video games, I am one of the more conservative drivers out here. The drivers out here are out of their minds. Like, we're driving on a road. I'm not familiar with the road. Like I said, we're away from home. It says 40 mile per hour speed limit. So I will drive like 40, 45. We got people flying by us going like 70 miles per hour on a regular road. This isn't a highway. These are regular roads. And by the way, the roads where we were driving on were very narrow with no guardrails on them. So if you drive off this road, you're driving off into the woods. It's like, these people are out of their minds. We get home as fast as we can. Jasper's happy to see us. We give him his treat. So what are we going to do? I said, well, there's this Japanese restaurant we have been ordering from recently and getting delivery at home. The sushi that we've tried from there is good. The problem is the delivery sushi isn't great. It comes and it's warm. It's falling apart by the time it arrives because it's delivery. You know, you order anything like DoorDash or Uber Eats, you're not getting it for 30 to 45 minutes after they already made it. So it's all been kind of sitting there. So what we want to do is, well, let's do it anyway. So we ended up ordering like 3 kinds of sushi from this restaurant, and it was pretty good. Admittedly, one of the sushis was outstanding. This one actually had salmon and tuna on top, and it had like, I think it had like crab and other stuff inside of it. That one was like ridiculously good. And normally I'm not one for eating raw fish, but this was like, wow, the flavor was outstanding. One of them was really basic. It was just like cream cheese and tempura shrimp, and it was too basic for me. I didn't like it that much. And then the last one had eel, and I actually like the eel. I think it's like savory, but Kat liked the other one, the one with the fish on it better. So anyway, we ended up eating at home as if it were just a normal day. We ended up ordering it home and getting delivery and eating at home. It sucked, you know, and it sucks because we had gone out of our way to plan this special day for her and I tried to do everything possible. She, you know, just so you guys know, because some people ask ridiculous stuff like, oh, did you get her anything? Of course I did. It's actually, I ordered it a bit ago, and what she's getting for her birthday is coming later this week. Nothing I can do about that. Delivery time is delivery time. So she's getting another present. You know, it wasn't, this day out was supposed to be the majority of her present, but she's getting something else later this week. But, you know, it is what it is. The day I'll be honest, the day was disappointing compared to what we had imagined it was going to be. But there's not much you can do about that. Sometimes life goes over and you just got to make the best of it. We did have a great day regardless.
Oh, I'm sure you think life messes with you on a daily basis, Philip.
Like I said, the time we spent between the meals was actually really good. We had a nice day out. We had a lot of fun together. And I'm happy about that because normally I don't get to spend a whole day with Kat. Usually it's half the day is run errands, appointments, and then we wedge in time together between all that. This was a day fully dedicated to us spending together, and that was really nice. So we still had a good one. It just was nowhere as good as we had wanted it to be. Someone asked if we get a birthday cake. No, actually, last week, Kat had said instead of a cake, I want a pie. So we ended up getting a big Dutch apple pie from a really good bakery. And she's been actually eating the pie. I had 2 pieces of it. It's amazing pie. I'm not kidding. Best apple pie I've ever had. And she's been eating pie over the past week to finish it. So I think there's like a tiny bit left in the fridge. But we've had that to celebrate all kind of week. So that was our day. That was our day. This was the start of our day. This was the start of our day. Burger King, where someone put the food out of their into your wrapper, apparently. Because what the is that? I mean, I think I've actually had turds that are better and neater than that. Actually, most of my turds are neater than that. That's something else. Anyway. That was our day.
Then about 2 weeks later, Phil went on Twitter to complain about it, and he got relentlessly roasted for it.
4 to 6 weeks later.
Bleep Goji Tanks tip me $2 and enjoy your day off tomorrow. Here's towards the Chiking. You mean this thing right here? You want me to put your $2 towards this right here? No, absolutely not. I've already partaken of the horrors once. I'm never doing that ever again. But I do thank you for the contribution. Trust me, whatever I eat tomorrow will be way more satisfying than that disgusting, globulous, infested, pus-filled mess.
1 season later.
Now, on the 1-year anniversary of this momentous event in DSP history, somebody brings it up in Phil's chat, and Phil decides to rehash the story over again. So let's see if any details change, shall we? This is the best video source I could find for it. For whatever reason, his podcasts from this era are usually privated. I think it's because something with the intro music that he uses. Today, he could have just cut that out with the editor, but back then, he's not going to do that. So he's too lazy to go back and do that with all the podcasts because he knows it's like 0 to 1 people watching per day. So it's not worth doing it. Because honestly, the only people looking back at his podcasts from that time are people like me that are clipping them.
Last year, my wife and I wanted to plan a special day for her birthday. And I said, what would you like to do? And she says, well, we got to do our errands and things. So what I'd like to do is plan it so we get those done early on in the day. And then we can go and do something special. I said, well, what would you like to do special? They're like, well, I love sushi. Let me look for like sushi places and something special. So what we did is there's a, how can I explain it? If you drive about half an hour away from here, there's another town out there in Washington where there's a lot of shopping. There's a lot of restaurants. There's a lot of other things out there as well that we do every once in a while. We don't do it all the time because it's pretty far away. But, you know, it's nice to every once in a while have a different change of scenery and do things in a different location. So essentially what we said we would do is that day we would drive out there and we would spend some time, like killing time shopping. And then we would make a reservation at a nice restaurant to have dinner at. And my wife absolutely loves sushi. So we found a restaurant that's a combination of a, what do they call it, hibachi, which is where they cook the food right in front of you on one of those open flame grills.
The odd thing is this is from 3 years ago and I can still see his robust moves.
And they do like a little show when they do it. And then also a sushi bar where you can go and they'll make the sushi right in front of you, fresh, and you can make to order. So we made a reservation on her birthday to go there because she wanted to do the sushi half of it. She was very excited to see that happen. We never did that before. All right. So that day, we also decided that, you know, we'd get all our errands done first half of the day, then drive out there, spend the day kind of doing some shopping, and then go to the restaurant. All right. So we go to do our errands, and we did our grocery shopping. We got that out of the way. And then we went and had to go to the dump that week. Had accumulated trash to throw out. So we go to the dump.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd eat before I go to the dump. And it's funny because he's adding new details that he didn't tell us before. It's like, okay, what do I remember? That's very important to tell even though it's not. Let's just drag this out as long as possible.
And we're hungry, all right? And it's early. Like, what are we going to get? It was probably like just before noonish, okay? And we're like, we're hungry. What do we want to get? Well, what's nearby? Well, honestly, like nothing. First thing, my wife says, well, let's go to the diner that we really like. There's a diner nearby that we absolutely really, really like. But last year, my wife's birthday fell on a weekend. Uh-oh. We weren't really thinking like that. We were just thinking, oh, it's her birthday. Just do whatever she wants. So she wants to go to the diner that we always go to for our brunch, you know, breakfast, lunch combo because she really likes this place. We go there. The place is packed to the walls with people, like completely full. So we were going to have to sit there and wait if we want to eat there. And my wife's like, you know, I'll be honest. You know, I don't really like this that much. I don't want to sit around and wait. I think I'd rather do something different. And I was like, well, what? She's like, you know what? I really want to go out to where we're going to go for the rest of our day. I feel like we're stuck here at home. I want to get out there.
Wow, Kat wants to get out of the snort fort. Who would have guessed?
Let's just do whatever's close by. So, we look around for things to eat. What's the closest thing? Burger King. And sadly, we're in downtown, all right? And we don't usually do anything in downtown. If we got to drive through it to do stuff like go to the dump or whatever, we do that and then we get out of there. There's a lot of traffic. I'll be honest, there's a lot of crime. There's a lot of shit that goes down there. So we try not to go there, all right? But we're there, and she's like, let's just go to Burger King. I was like, you're sure? You're not joking. You actually just want to go to Burger King. And she's like, yeah, let's just get it done. Let's eat, and then we can move on to the rest of our fun day.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely sure Kat said that. That's exactly how she phrased it.
All right, let's just do it. So we got into the drive-thru, Because Burger King a year ago, you couldn't eat inside. I don't know if you can eat inside now. A year ago, because of COVID, you couldn't go inside and eat inside. The doors were still locked. Okay? We tried. The door was locked. So, we decide to get into the drive-thru. We get into the drive-thru. What are we going to get? All right. Admittedly, I should have went for the staple. I should have went for the thing that I know is the same. They've never changed at Burger King over the years. Something that every time I go there, I love. The Whopper.
You know, I do give credit to Phil. He is actually telling a slightly different variation of what happened. It makes things a lot more interesting. He's just adding new details that we haven't heard before that richen the commentary of just instead of him complaining constantly.
I love the Whopper, even though it's definitely a fast food burger, even though it's not the epitome of burger goodness, it always tastes the same. It's the same flame grilled patty. It's the same condiments on a good bun. It's a good sized burger. It always tastes good. I honestly don't know if I've ever gotten a Whopper that I was like, oh, this sucks. Even when they're messy and it's going everywhere, it still tastes pretty good. All right? That's what I should have gotten. But I was feeling stupid and adventurous, and I said, I'm going to get their new chicken sandwich, which they call the Chiking. Okay?
Phil, being adventurous and trying new things is not stupid. It's how you grow as a person.
Now, my wife said, oh, I'd gotten that before. I can't remember when we had gotten it, but she said she had tried the spicy Chiking and she liked it. So I said, all right, I'll try the spicy Chiking. All right. So I order it, and I think if I remember, she ordered, I can't remember what she got. She might have gotten a Whopper. I can't remember, actually. No, you know what? She might have got the long chicken sandwich. I don't remember, because that's not the focus of the story here. So, of course, we have to eat in the car. They won't let you in. So we drive to the parking spot, and we open up the bag, and immediately we know something's wrong. You can see sauce everywhere. Okay?
So that is one detail that is different. In the original story, he said he had to grab into the bag to feel sauce. He didn't see it.
So it's like you have to strategically go into the bag to even get like the items out of the bag. So she hands me my Chiking chicken sandwich. Okay, luckily her stuff was okay, but she hands me my Chiking chicken sandwich.
Okay, Phil, I know, like, it's hard to remember stuff and your mind distorts it. It's how, you know, oral tradition, how stories change over time. But this is not the original thing you had. It was you reaching in to the packaging and getting your hands all sticky. Why is it this time Kat was reaching into the packaging?
And you can see the entire wrapper is wet. That's obviously a bad sign. When you're getting food and your entire thing, the food is wrapped in, is soaked, there's a problem here. Okay?
At least from the picture he took, there just seemed to be a portion of it that was drenched, not all of it.
So I begin to unwrap the sandwich. This sandwich is completely permeated in sauce. I'm not talking it's like wet, they put too much. The bun is soaked and completely covered.
That bun looks fairly dry to me, Philip.
The chicken is doused in it and mushy because of it. Like, this is supposed to be a crispy chicken sandwich. This is the most soggy, disgusting thing you've ever seen in your life. And not just one kind, two kinds of sauce. It's got whatever the hot sauce is supposed to be, plus some other kind of like a yellowish sauce. Now, here's the thing. Maybe if I was at home and I was eating it on a plate at my table and I had paper towels and all over me, maybe if I had a fork and knife.
Who eats a sandwich with a fork and knife?
I would try to eat this thing. The thing is completely saturated. It's already getting everywhere because the wrapper's wet, so it's already kind of getting everywhere in the car. And they gave us 2 napkins. 2 single napkins. Like, how stupid can you be?
By that point, you should have spun around the drive-thru and asked for more napkins, but the issue with you is you didn't check the food until you went to a safe place to eat it.
Right? That's all you give someone when you just gave them this sloppy, disgusting mess, right? So I'm looking at it and I'm like, how am I supposed to eat this? And the answer is I couldn't. There was no way to eat that and not get it completely over myself. And if I ate it, my whole face would have been covered in sauce, my hands, and there's nothing to wash with because they gave you 2 napkins. You can't go inside to use the bathroom or ask for more. The door's locked. So guess what I had that day for my brunch? Small fries.
Well, a brunch is meant to be a small meal, Phil.
That was it. That's what I ate. Small fries. And nothing else. My wife got a chicken sandwich and some fries. I ate small fries. All right? I took a picture. I showed it to you guys for a while. Remember, it was a running joke on my streams. I complained to Burger King. Guess what Burger King did? Nothing. They're scum. I mean it. That company is a bunch of scumbags.
He's really annoyed because Burger King didn't give him a free meal out of it.
So I complained to Burger King, and they say, don't worry, we're going to do something for you. We're going to contact the franchisee, show them the picture, because that does look disgusting, and we're going to get you an answer. 2 months passed, and the franchisee never responded.
Because the franchise owner doesn't care, Philip.
So I kept asking them, what's going to happen, and eventually they just ghosted me. They didn't even give me a credit. They didn't even say, oh, we'll give you a $5 coupon. They don't care.
Yeah, they got exhausted from your 220 Karen antics and they bailed on you.
They literally don't give a f. So Burger King is a piece of company. They're supposed to be all about have it your way customer support. They don't care. They ghosted me in the emails and they ghosted me on Twitter. They don't give a f. So Burger King. No, really, I mean that. Hey, Burger King, you. Your company sucks. You actually made the first half of my wife's birthday really bad last year. And then when I tried to reach out just to get some kind of restitution, you ghosted me because you're a bunch of scumbags. So your mother. Okay.
I mean, from the first story you told earlier, it sounds like Kat had a fine meal. I mean, if you complained about it constantly in the car, I could bet that it would ruin her at the beginning of the day. Yeah, because you're just thinking about yourself and not her.
So, that was the first half of the bad birthday. Okay? Then, we said, okay, we're going to go out to this shopping area, and we're going to do some, window shopping and stuff, some date that we did buy some things. I think we went to like a home goods store and bought a few things for the house. I'm trying to remember what else we did. We did a few things during the day. All right? But basically, we got to a point where like the dinner reservation, I think we had made for like 5 p.m., but it was still like 3:30. Like, what are we going to do? We had nothing to do. We ended up like walking around Home Depot. We had nothing to do. It was kind of boring. Admittedly, like we thought there would be more to do out there, and there ended up being way less interesting stuff to do than we thought there would be.
Well, this is a new detail. The last time it sounded like he had a full day worth of busy shopping.
So it ended up being kind of a boring day, honestly. After a little bit of initial shopping that was fun, it ended up becoming very, very boring. Okay? So, after all of that, finally, it's time for our dinner reservation. So we walk up to the restaurant, and basically they say, oh, dinner for two. I said, oh, well, we have a reservation. It's her birthday. We made a special reservation. Oh, whatever, dinner for two. So basically the place doesn't even need a reservation. Like, we reserved it online. But apparently they didn't care. They were like, whatever, just come on in. It's not a big deal, right? Okay, fine.
Yeah, because one, there's only 2 of you, so they didn't need to, like, book a room or something. Also, if the restaurant isn't that busy, they can find any spot they need to place you.
But we noticed something. As we're approaching the front doors, there's a big sign. No sushi today. No sushi today. The name of the restaurant is, whatever the name, because I actually don't even remember what it was so-and-so, Hibachi and Sushi. That's the actual name of the restaurant. Sign says, no sushi today. So as we're talking to, the hostess, we're like, so we made a reservation specifically because we want sushi. Your sign says no sushi. She's like, oh yeah, the sushi chef has today off. And I was like, wait a minute. Your sushi chef, when is your sushi chef here? Oh, he's only here like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. But the name of your restaurant is Hibachi and Sushi. It's a busy weekend. Shouldn't your sushi chef be here at the busiest time for your restaurant? Oh, he needs days off. He can't be here every day. That's just how it is. And I was like, did you ever think that maybe anywhere online, on your website where you do your reservations, you would say that so that we would specifically reserve a day when we could get sushi? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Well, you still want to eat here, right? No, bye. And we left. It was a complete waste of time. So the first half of the day was wasted on bad Burger King, and the second half of the day was kind of not good shopping, and then we couldn't get a dinner like my wife wanted because they didn't even the sushi because the restaurant sucks. So we left, and what do? We came home, and I said to my wife, you get whatever you want. She's like, well, I'm disappointed. Obviously, I wanted sushi. So we ended up like ordering from a place. And I don't think we had ever ordered from the place before.
You're not remembering correctly, Phil. You did order from that place. At least that's what you said in the first story.
And it was okay. It wasn't like great. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It was just like okay. And we're like, nah. Well, it is what it is, I guess. It really sucks. This was supposed to be a special day for my wife's birthday. And literally everything that could go wrong went wrong. And the only thing that didn't happen is we didn't get a flat tire, right? Like everything else went wrong. So, that really sucked, all right? So this year, you know, my wife's birthday's coming up. He said, what do we want to do? Well, my wife said, I'm going to take the day off of work, so at least I can be home. But we purposely made it this time. We made zero plans. Instead, it's the opposite. Kat's going to stay home and relax all day. We purposely made sure there's nothing that needs to be done. There's no chores that need to be done today. You know what I mean? Nothing, no cleaning, no washing of clothes. She's going to relax.
So she's pretty much going to do what she does every other day that she's off, which is more than what you'd think.
She's actually been playing Days Gone recently. She's probably going to play a bunch of Days Gone, relaxing with Jasper today. And I told her, you can have whatever you want for dinner. So this year, we already pre-ordered our favorite sushi place. During the break between streams, I'm going to go get the sushi. I'm actually driving there myself, going out of my way to pick it up and make sure we have it here, fresh. I'm not even taking chances with it being delivered and somebody gets lost or drops it. I'm getting the dinner. Okay? So, you know, I'll tell you about it probably either tonight or tomorrow. I'll tell you exactly, you know, what was in the dinner. But, you know, at this point I said, I'm taking charge of this. After last year, everything out of our control going wrong. Have a nice relaxing day at home. And then I will be, you know, getting it everything myself. Make sure everything's good the way that it needs to be. Rather than, you know, everything getting fucked up like it did last year. So it's kind of like the polar opposite. Last year, it was plan a million things and they all go wrong. This year, just relax. Have a nice relaxing day. And I'll take care of it. So there you go. Now, do I have to work today? Yeah. Does it kind of suck? Yeah, it is what it is.
Mind you, he didn't have to stream at all today if he really wanted to. Also, he could have just streamed once instead of twice. He has the flexibility to do that despite him claiming not to. He's his own boss.
We have our normal day off later in the week, Thursday, and that'll be our day to spend together. Sure, it's not exactly on the day of her birthday, but it's only a couple days later. It'll be fine. But for now, she's going to get a nice birthday dinner today, which she deserves, okay? So, yes. And by the way, no, we're not going out for dinner. On purpose. We want no risk of... We don't want to go somewhere and the building burns down or Godzilla comes and stomps on it. Or, oh my God, the food is bad. No. That's why we're doing... We're not going anywhere. I'm picking up the food and we're having a nice dinner here together of what she loves. Okay? So there you go. All right. So that's what we're doing today. And thank you already. A lot of people have wished Kat a happy birthday, and I really appreciate that. I'll let her know that everyone is giving her well wishes today. And it'll be a nice, relaxing day.
You know, it feels like every time Phil ventures into outer space, he can't handle it and he has to go back to Fraggle Rock, his snort fort, so to speak. What's so surprising is like DSP is like, oh, I have to control everything about Kat's birthday. Like, what does Kat want to do on her birthday, Phil? Maybe you should take that into consideration instead of you trying to control everything. Ever thought about that? Like, I could not handle being with this man even just a day. I don't know how she does it. I don't know how she stays with him. I can't. This is just so ridiculous. You know, it's funny, the diner that they like, it was never mentioned. Like, hey, at least Phil's going to get food this time, but he'll probably find a way to mess it up, because that's how Phil works. So yeah, the thing DSP loves about Kat's birthday the most is he gets to complain about it. And not necessarily her, just complaining about the stuff around them in general, because that's one of his favorite pastimes. So yeah, I imagine that even when he gets off stream, he complains all the time about stuff too. Maybe it's the detractors, maybe it's other things, but you know, Phil is always vigilant vigilant about making sure that he has something to whine about, because that's how he operates. It's either pity me or praise me. And if you pity him, it better be money related. So open up those wallets, Only Iced Coffee. So once again, happy birthday to Cat Burnell, as we are surely all celebrating. Phil has his day off, so he is probably taking her on a romantic outing that we'll hear about tomorrow. You know, it'd be awesome if he told this story again, because I would just be excited to hear how he would tell it differently. And like, is there going to be exaggerated more, or the details going to change? Because, you know, that's what happens with stories. Over time, they just change.
And happy birthday to your king. Trust me, we're not getting Burger King this year. You guys know the infamous story what happened last year when we tried to have a nice day on her birthday and how all went wrong. No, not this year. This year, she's going to get whatever she wants. Yeah, so last year, I got a chicken sandwich at Burger King. It's supposed to be this hand-breaded chicken breast, and depending on the version you get, if you get like the regular, it's like lettuce, tomato, mayo. But I got the spicy version, okay? They literally, no exaggeration, completely doused the sandwich with sauce to the point where when you tried to take it out of the wrapper, the entire thing was just filled with sauce. The bun was completely soaked through with sauce. The entire thing was leaking sauce everywhere. It was completely inedible. You could, and the thing was, this of course was a year ago, COVID, they wouldn't even let you in the restaurant. So I'm trying to eat this in a car, and they give me 2 napkins to eat this sandwich with. So I have no utensils. I can't, you know, how am I supposed to eat it? You couldn't, it was inedible. It was literally completely inedible. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, that they treated it like that. They just didn't give a It was just, oh, here's your sandwich. Squirting a pound of sauce on it and throwing it in the bag, not giving 2 shits if you could even eat it or not. It was just completely disrespectful. And it was my wife's birthday lunch. That's correct. It was my wife's birthday celebration lunch. And it ruined everything for us. We were very upset. Almost a year ago now. Almost 11 months ago, now that I think about it.
Alright everybody, thank you for watching. I will see you all next time. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the Burger King chicken sandwich arc.
It shouldn't take too long. Oh, by the way, Alex for Phoenix, thank you for a $3 tip. He said it would be cool to have a Burger King crown as a hat goal. And sorry the game sucks. I wouldn't want to wear a Burger King crown. I'd get like a better one. You know, like a plastic one that looks nice or something. Fake rubies and emeralds encrusted in it or whatever.
Oh, hear me, king, for I must sing how you are the greatest at everything. Like letting a dragon burn down our city, a horrible sight that wasn't pretty.